from parent centers to legislation, talking about how do we best use the technology that's already out there that so many people are posting on, sometimes good stuff, sometimes not. But how do we use that to really tap into resources and outreach? And so that's where this webinar came about, and I'm really excited about our speakers today. I will let them present or introduce themselves, but if you don't know, I am Josie Badger, and I am the co-director along with Pat Tinsel for the National Reuse Center. The Reuse Center provides technical assistance on transition-related issues to parent centers, families, and youth across the U.S., and we are funded by the Rehab Service Administration, and so we are delighted to be presenting to you all. And at the end of the call, I will be going through the chat box and finding questions that you guys may have. So I appreciate if, number one, if you're on the call, please type in the chat box who you are and what organization you are from and what state you are from. And so I know a lot of our northeastern friends are in the midst of a blizzard. So I know that some connection issues may occur. I know that some of you may be working from home and have some distractions. So please forgive us for the accommodations that we are providing because of the snow blizzard. But I would like to hand it over to Louis and Jessica to start our presentation.
Jess, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Hi, yes, sure. Well, I can introduce myself later on a little bit more, but I am with SPAN. I work on the SIPR and, of course, with RAISE, with Josie, and I'll be presenting in the second half of this webinar. Please forgive me. I've been suffering from a cold, so I will try to be clear, but if anybody's having trouble hearing, then please, in the raise your hand option, you can ask me to speak louder, and Josie can let me know because my screen is filled with the PowerPoint presentation. But I will do my best, and if you need further, just let me know. Louis, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just going to give a little background on myself. My name is Louis Hall. I am the social media manager for the I Want to Work campaign and the business liaison. Double duty for the same pay. And I get to work with the lovely Josie Badger, as you all heard today. For those who don't know, I'm sure most of you know what the I Want to Work campaign is. Real briefly. Oh, can you guys hear me better now?
Maybe a little bit.
Better?
Yes.
How's this?
So much better. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Like I said, I'm the social media manager and business liaison director for the I Want to Work campaign. For those who don't know what the I Want to Work campaign is, it is a self-advocacy campaign focused on improving policies for people with disabilities to gain gainful employment and competitive integrated employment. For those who don't know what competitive integrated employment is where people with disabilities and able-bodied people, and their able-bodied peers work cohesively, doing the same tasks, receiving the same pay. And I'd like to go into a little bit of how we got started. Next slide, please. Okay, how our big social media boom. First of all, with social media, I think it is the most powerful free tool on earth as far as I'm concerned. I know a lot of nonprofit organizations like ours don't have a large marketing budget. For example, the I Want to Work campaign marketing budget is my salary, and that is about it. So social media is a great tool that we can utilize to reach thousands and thousands of people without having to spend a penny. how we got started was something called the Selfie Initiative. We realized that social media, people love to take pictures of themselves. And it's the best way to tell a story. Because let's be honest, nobody reads the newspaper. Not many people read the newspaper anymore. But people like to look at pictures and little captions. So every meeting that we've gone to, we've taken a picture. And this helped us increase our engagement with legislators by 100%, because not only were we saying thank you for meeting with us, but people could see we met with them, and then they would interact with our picture from their social media channels, increasing the dialogue. And we hear from our legislative partners quite regularly. Currently, we have 375 selfies in the queue. Oh, next slide, please. Okay, before I get started on some of this social media techniques that I'm going to be going over today, I'd like to go over some basic metrics so everybody can understand what I'm going to be talking about. Reach and engagement are the two key factors. I like to call it the poles of your campaign, of your organization on social media. Reach is how many people actually see your content on their feed. This can reach, for example, the I Want to Work campaign reaches around 30,000 people a month, and that's through various techniques, which I'll be going over later. Engagement basically consists of a couple things. People who have liked your content, commented, or shared it on their own page. So those are the two big keys. Next slide, please. Okay. First, once you've created a social media page, you got to say to yourself, what kind of content do I need to share, and how do I find it? Content breaks down into two completely different categories, but serve equally different purposes. We have content curation, which is other people's content that relates to your cause, such as, for example, for us, we share something from Disability Scoop, or the Peel Center, or United Way. This type of content really helps you grow your audience, because when you're first starting out, people don't know who you are, and this helps them to see that, okay, this is their mission, they're sharing this kind of content, I'll like it and see what they can come up with. So like I said, it helps you become a trusted news source. It gives you a great opportunity to tag brands. This is key, because you get to tap into the national brand's followership, such as the I Want to Work campaign this month, for example, has tagged a post from Apple, Ford, and Amazon, which has led to massive engagement because we can tap into their resources. And it also stimulates sharing and retweeting, and I'll go into more detail on why that's important. Now, the other stage is original content, and this is important because this content comes directly from you. Obviously, your followers are following you because they want to know what you have to say. It gives you an opportunity to position your viewpoints on anything that's coming out into the community that you want to share out. And original content tends to have a higher engagement than others. It tends to get more likes, comments, and shares once you get established. Next slide, please. Okay, now that we know the kind of content we need to share, we're going to talk about how to build a followership that will actually see your content. The biggest key is the biggest key is to find out what channel your core competence, the people you want to reach, use on a daily basis. Just like, would I rather use TV or newspaper or any other type of advertisement? For example, legislators and business leaders like to use Facebook and Twitter. If I was trying to reach high school students with disabilities, I would probably use Instagram and Snapchat because that is their core competency. So depending on who you want to reach depends on what channels you should probably use. Keep your content fresh and interesting because people have a short attention span, obviously. So you need to keep things new. You can, or at least reiterate it in different ways. Utilize new technology. This is a huge one. Like our campaign when it started, we have evolved dramatically. You wouldn't even recognize us from a year ago. One of the big things that has come out is video on all channels. Instagram has a version, Twitter has a version, and Facebook Live is probably the most prominent. It allows you to do small videos for free, where you can, interview someone. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can play with it. And once you build a solid base, it can reach up to thousands of people. We usually reach around 3,000 a month just on one video. Ask your followers what they want to hear and what they want to see. There's nothing wrong with asking for someone's opinion, and have your utilize every resource at your disposal. If I have 20 employees, I'm going to ask all 20 employees to share my content, to like my page, and to use and to utilize their followers. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, now that we know how to build a followership and what kind of content we need to post, we're going to move on to improving your content. Now, this can be a huge deal. Using pictures and videos, whenever possible, is probably the best and most simple way to improve it. Think about when you're on social media. You probably have 5 minutes between a meeting or lunch, and what's going to catch your eye is the post that has the most eye-catching, and a video or picture does that compared to just text. Create a hashtag to tie your content together. I'm going to be talking about that more in the next slide. Shorter is better. Be as concise as possible. I can't stress this enough. Social media is meant to be as short as possible. Get your point across, and no fluff, no muss. Tease up big events. I'm sure a lot of your organizations have awards dinners and things like that. So my suggestion would be, please, 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 a couple days in advance, tell your followers about what you're about to do, or if you're going to be posting a live video. So that way they know it's coming and they can tune in. That will make a big key when you look at your social media numbers. And create a call to action. It helps people feel more involved in your organization and your social media campaign. Such as when we want to talk to legislators, we say contact your legislator, show them how important this is. This can mean a lot of things. If you want to post about an employment story or you want to get their opinion, ask. There's nothing wrong with asking your followers for help. They want to help you. Okay, creating a hashtag. Now this can be a little tricky, but it is definitely worth the time. Make sure it hasn't been used before, or if it hasn't been used in a few years, because there's nothing worse than when you being tied to content that doesn't mean what you want it to mean, and people get confused. Keep it short and sweet. Around 15 to 16 characters at max. You want it to be able to roll off the tongue. Make it conversational. So something that you would say in a conversation. Example, I want to work. Something that people understand clearly. And use camel case. What this means is, if you can look down on the page, every letter in the first letter in every word is capital. That is so that people with vision issues that we come across a lot, it's easier recognizable, and they can read it a lot easier. Next slide, please. Okay, management. I understand everybody here probably has very limited time, so we got to be able to manage it as effectively as possible. Respond to every message timely. I cannot stress this enough too. And this is because Facebook will actually tell you on your page the percentage rate that you respond. And people don't want to see that, oh, they only respond 50% of the time. Now, this can get tricky because the bigger you get, the more random some of the questions get. For example, I get questions on a daily basis from Nigeria asking for work visas. So we've created a form letter response that anybody with access to our social media pages, if they see a message like that, they can copy paste it in and send it off, and that way it doesn't take time out of their day. A couple managerial things. Create a content calendar. This is very useful so that everybody that is working on your social media campaign can know what's going on, and they don't trip over each other, because there's nothing worse than 3 people posting 3 different things on the same day and no one talking to each other. And it's really simple. Google Docs is a great way to do it. Be a great social partner. So what does that exactly mean? Well, it's different for everybody. But if you have strategic partners, like we have the United Way, the Peel Center, we'll share out their stuff when they post out, and they'll share ours. Now, this can also mean if you have a follower who shares your stuff on a regular basis, and you find something on their page that is relevant to you, you can share theirs and as a thank you for being involved in your campaign. It's a great way to show that you care about what other people are doing and you're willing to help them too. Okay, reviewing your channels. Like in anything, we have to take a step back and look at what went right and what went wrong and how we can improve. Okay, Facebook and Twitter have helped us out with that, with Facebook Insights and Twitter Analytics. Now, Facebook Insights is on the tool management page. It's really useful to find out how many people you reached this month or any sector of time that you want to look at. And Twitter the same way. There are some pages that you can use, like Sprout Social, Hootlook, that help you dig a little deeper and also compile the information a lot faster, but you don't have to use them. Don't be afraid to try new things. Social media is supposed to be fun, so don't look at it as a chore. Try it. If it doesn't work, oh well, it's okay. Another thing is varying the times you post. Think of it strategically. So if I am going to post to professionals that work 9 to 5, I'm going to post either at 9 a.m. right when they get in the office and they check their email and Facebook, or I'm going to post after 5 when they get out of work. I'm not going to post at 3 p.m. when they're probably in a meeting. Same thing with a high school student. I'm not going to post at 1 p.m. when they're in class. So find out when the core of your audience that you want to reach is on social media and try to post around them. And remember, you can use a lot of tools that do auto posting, so you don't have to be on your computer at that exact time to post it. Facebook has a free one, and Twitter has a free one as well. And another thing is creating a social media report. This can mean a variety of different things, and if anybody would like to see a sample, please email me, and I'd be happy to send you one. At least do it once a quarter. It's a great way to see what worked, what didn't, and it's another way to involve the others in the organization that aren't involved in social media, so they can see what's going on, and it'll help them get more involved because they feel part of the process. Okay, so on this page, you can see all of our channels and everything, so please like and share us. And I thank you for your time. And I'm going to, Jessica now.
Oh, thank you so much, Louis. And there are a couple of things that you mentioned that I'm going to touch on from the second part of the presentation. So I have introduced myself. I'm with the SIPR and with RAISE, and the distractions Josie mentioned would be in my house since school is out today. So hopefully I'll be able to get through this with my laryngitis and my family. We're talking first about social media dashboards and how to manage your social media marketing. What are social media dashboards? Think of the dashboard on your car. You have different gauges doing different things, but you can see everything that's going on at the same time while you're driving. Social media dashboards are programs, mostly online, that allow you to manage your various social media profiles in one location. So instead of going to your Facebook and dealing with that and then going to Twitter, there are options to manage them both from the same site instead of jumping around. There are many different products available, free and also paid, and I will talk about those a little bit later. But the first question is, why would you use a dashboard? And as I mentioned before, if you have more than one social media account, you don't have to log into each separate one, post separately, and change your posts even to each one every time you want to share something across the board.
You can actually call and hear.
I'm sorry. Can listeners please mute their lines, please? And you can post, update, manage notifications. and even more things that I'm going to show you here. Different things that you can do with different dashboard products are auto-posting your posts to various pages, auto-schedule them for the best time of day. Lewis was talking about having, a sweet spot or finding the best time of day for your audience, and this allows you to auto-schedule them, as well as managing the posts in a calendar view, such as he mentioned with different people working on the same site. People aren't going to trip all over each other posting at the same time so that the posts get missed because they're all happening at the same time. It will allow you to generate those hashtags that he mentioned, and some of the more advanced dashboards will allow you to get sales leads and automate your video marketing. And in relation to the reports and the analytics, you can connect the data from these different channels and get reports on that. Different products will do different things. This is not everything that they all do, and not all of them will do the same things. Most of them will do the major parts the same. The benefits are it's so much easier, especially if you have more than one social media site. Even if you only have 2 social media sites, it's so much easier to post once and then let it take care of itself automatically. It allows you to consolidate your work, and it saves you time and effort. And once you get the hang of it, it becomes really second nature, and you say, why didn't we ever do this before? Which is exactly what I said before somebody introduced me to the idea of dashboards. So I wanted to give you an example of a dashboard that's very popular, and it's called Hootsuite, and you might have seen the little owl icon. But the screenshots will tell you, you can see in the upper screenshot that you can auto-schedule the messages. You can auto-schedule them for the date, the time of day. You can receive notifications when the message is posted if you choose. You can see there's a bulk message uploader. You can upload more than one message at a time. And let's say you're going on vacation, and you can post 2 weeks, 3 weeks worth of posts ahead of time, and it will automatically take care of it while you're sitting on the beach drinking Mai Tais, which is really nice because then it looks like you're working when you're just relaxing in the sun. The lower graphic shows you what is on the timeline for your various social media. You can see under the circle you have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and it's showing you that on your Facebook page right now what was posted, when it was posted, and what is scheduled to be posted, and at what time and what date. And over on the left-hand side in the bottom you can see the scheduled posts that are scheduled for today, at what time, tomorrow, Sunday, so you can even post over the weekends. And on the right side, there's an overall calendar that's available through Hootsuite and these other dashboards that gives you a calendar view of everything that's going on in your dashboard. And the question is, how do you decide? There are 2 important factors to look for. Make sure that they cover the social media sites you are using. And most people will be using the standard ones, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even LinkedIn, but there are some more obscure ones, and as Lewis pointed out, depending on your audience, there are going to be different social media platforms used by different people. So you need to make sure that you're covering everything that you want to cover. Most of the major ones will cover the standard social media. There are extras. Mobile applications, fees for services, and as I note here, we all love free stuff, but depending on your needs, if the paid version helps boost your analytics, sometimes spending the money is worth it. Don't ignore those paid services if you get a good return on the money you spend. It might not apply to most of the nonprofit organizations, but it's up to you to decide. So my advice is that there are many products out there. Each one has various perks or problems. Only you can decide which is the best. And here I have listed 27. It's a random number, I know, but 27 of the social media dashboards. And they're in no particular order other than alphabetical. I did not rank them. I recognize some of them. I don't recognize all of them, but I did check to make sure that at this time of this webinar, they were all still active applications because some of the ones I deleted no longer exist. So one of the things to watch out for is the fact that you might be using a dashboard that's free and easy that suddenly gets discontinued. So it's a good idea to go with something that's established and popular. That way there's less chance of it suddenly not being an option anymore and you lose everything. How do you know which ones of these are the best ones to use? These are just a few links that I've created that when you download the PowerPoint or link to the recording at a later point, these are the ones that I compiled that list from, and they are just suggestions. You can see that one of them is from 2014, so even at this point, some of the things on there might be out of date. But it's very easy to do a search for social media dashboards or social media management tools in order to find products that are going to work for you. So the next part of this presentation is designing for social media, adding some pizzazz to your pages. So we've done some of the technical stuff, and now we want to look at the things that are going to enhance your presentations. And as Louis said, videos
Jessica,
and...
excuse me,
Yes, ma'am.
Jessica.
Yes.
It's Maria. Your screen is stopped sharing,
Okay.
and also it looks like you're not in the room anymore.
Did I just get kicked out? Yeah, I think I just got kicked out. Let me reconnect.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry to everybody about this. I apologize. Let me reconnect. We will edit this part out, but what I need to do is find my Adobe Connect, and I need to log back in.
While she's doing idea for you guys, I mean, another tool while I was thinking about it, you guys could really use, which is, it's called Bitly. And what that does is it shortens links when you go to post things and you want to put a link in it. It shortens the link, and that is really useful for Twitter that only has 140 characters that you're allowed to use. So that's another free tool that without it, I would not know how to do my job.
I think I might have temporarily lost my connection. Let me just go on and, I'm sorry everybody. I don't know if this is from the storm or if it's just my browser, but let me reconnect to the room. Bitly, actually, I'm glad Louis brought that up. Bitly is really great because kind of like hashtags, it allows you to create personalized versions of a URL. So instead of having a URL that's, myorganization.org / number letter. All right, Maria, you just have to host me back in. You can go to Bitly, or there are other URL shorteners. Facebook has a URL shortener. YouTube has a URL shortener. And am I being let in? All right, share my screen. And, oh my goodness. And suddenly my computer is revolting against me. What you can do is you can personalize the URL, and it can say myorganization.org / social media webinar instead of, which is easy for people to remember and type in. So it's always a very nice option to use Bitly, and I am very happy to give another webinar for that particular thing, because that's a nice one too, and I'm sorry I didn't add it in. It didn't occur to me. All right, so going back to making your social media more attractive, reflecting your organization's personality, images. As Louis said, video and images catch the eye much more than text will. And the example I wanted to give, let me reduce that. The example I wanted to give was before I came on, the Race Center's Facebook page appeared like this online. And it was basic, there's nothing wrong with it, but honestly nothing that compelling about it. And these were the issues. Number one is that the logo was cut off. And number two, the background image that you see whenever you go onto the page was very dark. There's nothing really compelling about it. It's just a word. And it was also not to scale. And if you ask somebody, what is Raise about, they really couldn't tell you. Who was the audience? The picture you see has empty chairs. So it really wasn't relatable. And what I did was I wanted to create something that was more connecting to the audience that Raise serves. You can see I fixed the logo to fit the box. I created a background that is light and colorful. It has people in it. It's to scale. The people aren't warped or distorted by being too long or too wide. What is Raise about? It's about serving youth with disabilities. And the audience is young people and their families. And I really wanted to make the point of reflecting to the people coming to the page who they were instead of just random pictures. We represent people with disabilities, and so here you go. These are families of people with disabilities, and we're reaching for you. What I want to point out, however, is that one size does not fit all. The same image that looks great on Facebook come to YouTube, and suddenly this is what you get. Every social media platform has different cover image measurements. In YouTube, it shows you when you upload your picture how it's going to look on desktop, TV, or mobile. And as you can see, only the TV image is really as inclusive of the intent of the picture of any of the other ones. The desktop and mobile get cut off. When I upload the photo, it gives you the option of moving that box and showing you what you'll see on TV versus what you'll see on mobile. And you can see that no matter where I move it, I'm really not getting the best image. So I'm going to have to rethink this image I created for Facebook that works so well for our YouTube page, where it doesn't work as well as I expected. Recommended image sizes are available online. I've put them on here for your reference when you download the document. And for those of you who don't really work in design and prefer inches or even centimeters, if you're coming from another area that doesn't use the imperial measurements, at the bottom of the page is a link to a nice pixel to inches converter where you just type in the pixels. So if I wanted to convert the Facebook image size from 851 by 315 pixels to inches, I could just type that in and then get the inches size and create that on a document in order to upload it to one of my social media pages. There are a lot of guides, and again, I've only provided two. Socialmediaexaminer.com is a very good website. It's got a great layout. It's easy to navigate, and you can find a lot of ideas and examples. And these are just two good links for using images and making your cover photos more appealing for your social media to reflect what you do and your audience. There are, this is also only one article of many that are very good. This is a cheat sheet providing dimensions like I gave you, as well as templates. So you can just take the template without having to do the conversions for yourself. HubSpot is a good website for marketing and social media. And so this one, I did not provide a bit.ly, but you can see how this is a very long URL that you would not want to have to type in yourself. Bit.ly is actually an option you could use to make that a shorter, easier URL for people if you wanted to. But that's another webinar. So making your Facebook page accessible is also related to design, mostly making photos accessible for anyone using assistive technology, including captions and providing text descriptions is essential for making your pages accessible. Facebook The instructions are given here about how to do it. I'm not going to belabor it right here. There are instructions. You can check them out when you download it. But Facebook has an automatic alternative text generator. And it was really nice because when Josie suggested that I add this into the presentation, I discovered that Facebook has this relatively new accessibility site to help users make their pages accessible, which I think is really great because it shows that social media is really leading the way in supporting accessibility and issues that the ADA has brought about for people who, of all abilities, who want to have the same social media experience. Excuse me for just a minute. And so that, and then Twitter page also has an accessible images for everyone blog where they provide this information, and it's really useful, and you can just follow the descriptions, the instructions here, and it discusses composing image descriptions for all of these accessibility technologies, and so I hope that people take advantage of that because it just makes it that much more accessible. So on that note, I want to also caution everybody about brand trademark violations. And I told Josie that I wished that we could take a poll to see how many people are violating trademarks without realizing it. I bet a lot of you are doing it and don't realize you are, but I'm going to tell you what the problem is and why you shouldn't be doing it. Altering social media brand identity graphics is illegal. All of these wonderful, beautiful, adorable, I love that egg, you know, these are fantastic and they're artistic and they're great, but they are not allowed. And if you're using any of them in your email signature, if you're using them to link people to your social media on any documents, on your website, anywhere, you are breaking the law. You are violating trademarks, and you've got to be careful because it's illegal. You know, as artistic and wonderful as these all are to look at, it's just not allowed. The companies provide brand identity guidelines that tell you what you can do, what you can't do. They provide you with the graphics to download. Yes, most of the time the graphics are a little bit more boring. The blue Facebook logo is just a blue Facebook logo. It's not as great as that egg we saw or the ones that were on the left-hand side of the previous slide, but you can't do it. Just as you would not want somebody distorting your organization's logo and then using it, even if they're linking to you, it's intellectual property. And there have been cases where it has resulted in bad things for the people doing it. And so what I've done here is I've provided links to the major sites that we've talked about: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Google. And those go directly to the brand identity guidelines for each. They provide downloads of logos that you can use, as well as do's and don'ts, things you can do, things you can't do. And so it's a very good guideline. The article at the bottom in red is a very good article which compiles several of these social media platforms into the article and basically explains the same thing and provides links. And they do tend to update it, so it's usually going to be very current, and I recommend that you look at it. So at that point, we're pretty much done, and I'm very happy to answer questions.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for all of that information. That was quite a bit of information. So if you guys have questions, please type them into the chat box this time. I'll give you a few minutes. See if one coming. will this be available offline?
Yes.
So this, oh, go ahead, Jessica.
Well, no, I'm going to be downloading this and putting it onto the Raise YouTube page. And as Josie said, we'll be uploading it to the Raise page as well. I don't know if she has any other plans for making it available. Probably through email for attendees.
Yeah, I can make it available through our newsletter and probably through the I Want to Work page if they decide to do that. I'm not in control. So, yes, I think this would be really helpful. One thing, Jessica, as I was listening, is I know that I've violated copyright rules, obviously, before this webinar. What do you do if you know that previously you've done it? And, like, maybe the materials are floating somewhere out there in cyberspace?
That's a very good question. If there's nothing you can do to fix that particular document, like say that you have a link on your website to a document that people have downloaded, and you fix the document you've uploaded, but people have downloaded it previously and have that old one, there's really nothing you can do except make amends going forward. And I would say that, the best intentions of saying, I'm aware of this now and I've changed my ways, is the best you're going to be able to do. And we see it everywhere. You've seen it absolutely everywhere. So it's something that is constant and ongoing. So I think that it's kind of it's kind of too ubiquitous. But I would probably, if anybody ever called you on it, I would say, yes, I know that was in the past before I heard about it. As you can see from the existing materials, we have fixed all of that, and we are no longer doing that. So from this point on, we're aware that we're not supposed to violate these copyrights. And I don't know, I suppose that's all you can say. If you choose not to, which is a situation I encountered when I worked for the university and my department had illegal icons on there, and I kept telling the person, you can't have them, you can't have them, you have to change them, and they willingly didn't. Well, I said, listen, when this department gets audited for accreditation, this is going to come up. And if you don't do something to fix it, now that you know that it's a problem, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences. So, if you know it's a problem and you fix it, there's really not much you can do about what was already done in the past and is out there.
Right. Yeah. One question for Lewis. You mentioned that you connect to different, you mentioned Apple, I know you've done Microsoft. How do they know that you posted their information? How do you alert them about that?
That's a great question. Facebook will automatically alert them once you tag them in the post. And so will Twitter. Will alert them as well. As long as, and I know this is a unique rule, but if the company's name is the first thing you put in the post on Twitter, you have to put a period beforehand. I know that's really, really strange and hard to get used to, but you have to put a period before the name of the company if it's the first thing you put in a tweet. And then that will alert them. But every other social media platform, as long as you tag the right site, it will alert them. Just be cognizant that they probably won't engage you directly, but it will go out to their followers, and that can be very, very useful.
We have a comment that one of our New York ladies stated that she thought that they changed that on Twitter. We'll have to look into it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to look into that too.
Yeah, because that is kind of weird. I feel like a lot of tweets would be lost. So probably a good idea if they got rid of that rule. And one last question from me. I know that I'm hogging this, and folks, on the chat. If you guys have other questions, this will be my last. We would love to hear from you. So if you know that, say, I'm throwing out the Peel Center has, like, Twitter, but you don't know what their tag is, how do you find that?
Generally,
There's a,
sorry,
go
go ahead, Louis.
Oh, no, I was going to say, honestly, the easiest way to do it is, one, you could just type it into Twitter as the full name, and it might come up with their handle. Or the easiest way I do it is I type in the organization's name into Google and put Twitter with it, and usually that'll come up as well. So either way works pretty well.
And also try any acronyms that they might have as well, because if you type Raise Center into Twitter with a lowercase or an uppercase or something else comes up first. So sometimes it's as ridiculous as an uppercase or a lowercase, depending on who got there first and got the name.
Yeah.
As silly as that sounds.
Yeah, true. So with that, I see no other questions from the group, but I thoroughly appreciate all of that information. As we mentioned earlier, this webinar will be recorded, or is recorded, will be posted, and will be captioned in the near future, and will be shared out so that at any point that you wish to view it or have others view it, it will be on our page, our Facebook. As a personal request, I would love those of you who have not liked the Raise Center Facebook page should do so. We do a lot of information sharing, and we would love to share that with you. You will be getting a survey after this webinar, and we would love for you to fill it out. And a huge thank you to both Jessica and Louis, who are fantastic at their jobs and make my life so much easier. So thank you all, and happy snow day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.